Hello. I am in a park. I'm here in a park. If it's windy, I'm sorry. I can't control that. I mean, I can control where I record, but if you've ever lived in a house with 8 billion people who aren't your relatives, then you probably wouldn't record there either. So, just updating you. Internet. Oh, I forgot to say hello, internet. Hi. I went on a little stress walk. So I'm trying to get in a studying mindset. And then I was thinking about how, college is where you go to test your character, most definitely. It's where you find out who you are as a person in very many capacities. Let me tell you why. So, based on where you live, if you live in like a residence hall, God bless you. If you're an atheist, guess you're going to hell. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what the fuck to say. Good luck to you. I was gonna say Godspeed. That's still like religious, whatever. I don't know. Like 1 or 2 bathrooms per hall. Like I visited my friends when they lived in residence halls. It's literally worse than jail. It's worse than American jail. It looks gross. It's like you go there, you see it, and you're like, how many people don't actually have house training? Or it's like, maybe it's like the minority of people who don't clean up after themselves, but like they terrorize an entire residence hall. Like, I'm so glad I wasn't born a man, because if I lived in a residence hall as a man, there were literally people would take shits in the showers, and I would kill myself after killing them. It would be a murder-suicide. Because it's so gross. And if you live in an apartment on campus, it doesn't get that much better. It's just you live with a select few people that you get to know really intimately and figure out how, like what makes them tick. And they probably have just, it's really luck of the draw. I had a friend, she lived in a campus apartment with, all of her people, and she liked them, she liked most of them. They would, cook for each other and everything. I thought that was really cute, that they could, those bitches should work at the UN. They could solve any conflict, I believe. Not I fear, but I believe. Because that's not my living situation. I live in a house with a bunch of people, and it's basically like you talk to who you're cool with, ignore who you're not cool with, leave it at that. I've adopted the loner approach. I'm seen when I want to be seen, and that's how it is, and that's how it's been working out for me pretty well. And I prefer it because, I get to be alone, but I'm not lonely. And ironically, when I was on good terms, quote unquote good terms with, everyone in the house, it's like, okay, so I'm, on good terms with all of you, but I'm not being fucking heard. What's the point? So, but anyways, when you get to college, you find out you're a villain. You're always a villain in someone's story. And I guess I just have to get comfortable with that fact. Like many others. Just doing what I do. I'm not trying to intentionally, hurt anybody. But if what I say or do is misinterpreted, then, damn, L plus ratio. So that's the living situation. Then you go to class. If you look out with an evening schedule or something, cool. I don't prefer an evening schedule. I prefer a morning afternoon schedule. The worst thing isn't like 8 a.m.s or it's having a really spread out schedule. One that you can't do anything with. Like you just have to like you have to be there in the morning and then you have to go back at night, and it's fucked up because like what if I want to get a job? Like I need money. There's never enough fucking money for some reason, and I can't even leave campus and come back to get a like and it's really annoying. That's another annoying thing. I used to commute to my college until it got too tiring. And I'd commute like an hour because that's how SoCal makes sense. And almost preferring that lifestyle because it's not like I had expenses or, you know, I didn't have to cook for myself because I lived with my parents. I only had to do chores on the weekends because I was like never home. You know, everything was clean. But like, you know, you move out and you move into a place with a bunch of other people, and then you realize the definition of clean somehow became subjective. It's like horror movie shit. And then you just like, thank God I don't share a room with anyone because they would have been dead and I would have been incarcerated. That's a joke, until it isn't. But yeah, I have like a single room in a house with all these people, and it's like, I know who does and does not clean up after themselves, and it's like you go to all these lengths to try to be diplomatic, but people will pick and choose when they're going to be accountable, and at their convenience, unfortunately. And the workaround for that is make yourself scarce, I think. Or you can keep banging your head against that brick wall and trying to make them see the error of their ways, but that is personally not my style. That's not for me. It's not my style because I'm more of a self-sufficient, self-contained kind of person. Like, okay, yeah, I'll fuck with you if you're cool. But you have to have common sense. That's like baseline. That's like the litmus test. Like, if your common sense is lacking, get the fuck out. You're getting the boot. So that's that. And then, you may or may not mood and vibe with your professors. It's really luck of the draw there. I mean, not really. You get like a little window of time to shop around for classes, so you can like think about it. You can be like, can I like learn from this professor efficiently? Should I try and find another listing for this class that I can get into or whatever? That's not the hardest part. The hardest part about college is like balancing being a student and then the life's being a self-sufficient adult. There was like a leaf that just fluttered by me. It's kind of funny, but yeah, basically. And I really kind of only would recommend college for people who by nature are intellectuals. Like, they enjoy school, they love studying, they love learning, they want to learn things until they die or else they'll feel incomplete. I personally would classify myself as that kind of person. But if you kind of are like, I actually am fine with school, I don't really know what I want to do yet, just go to a CC and take classes in something that sounds interesting. It costs way less money. You'll have no debt. Like, I know someone from my graduating class who has not gone to college and just doesn't have debt. I mean, they just don't have debt and they're fine. And, you know, I wish it were me. I personally am staring down the barrel of wanting to do an MD PhD. So I'm gonna be in school for like 10 more years after I graduate college. I'm really doing K through 12 once more. That's how much I was like, I committed myself to, you know, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this, so I'm gonna do it twice, okay? That's how much I'm committed to school and learning and wanting to do what I want to do. So, yeah, and I'm gonna be shafted with like 500K at minimum in terms of like expenses just to go learn. And there's a doctor shortage. Which is so funny. There's a doctor shortage, but I have to go pay to become a doctor. Like there are programs that subsidize, you know, like that subsidize your education for wanting to become a doctor. So like during your time in medical school and after, you know, you finished your medical degree, like you work in a place where there's a doctor shortage, and then they will waive some of your like a percentage or maybe all of your loans if you're so lucky. But that usually means like living and working in a place you didn't foresee yourself living and working in for a number of years. And you know, I think most people's idea of setting up their life is like, oh, I graduate high school, I go to college, I get a good job, I get my finances in order, and I'm together as a person, I can have kids, I can continue having a career, I can like fulfill myself as a person, and then I die. You know, it kind of like screws with your like life plans. And I'm a person who loves to plan, but college has ruined that for me. Well, I think just life has ruined that for me because I don't live at home anymore. You know, certain things are not guaranteed for me at this stage in life anymore, like dinner. And not that I'm like going without dinner, but like dinner's not already made for me when I come home. I have to figure that out. And usually that's like applesauce. I'm sorry to say, if my parents ever see this, which I don't think they will, hopefully, you know, it's just like garbage. I eat garbo all the time, and it's ironic because I want to become a doctor, and doctors preach health and good practices in health, but I'm like mistreating myself and undersleeping and overstressing, and you know, everything that doctors tell you to not do, these basic checks and balances that people are supposed to have in their lives, I'm not able to do, because I have to prioritize this degree, because it will, you know, send me to the places I want to go, which are 10 years away. And to quantify something, to use the metric of time in terms of distance is like so, like, I need a quantum physicist to explain this shit or something, like, help. It like pisses me off. It's like, okay, I'll do the work, it's just why do I have to like do this on hard mode? Why do I have to play like Vermintide 2 Cataclysm mode right now? This is crazy. But you know what? I have to do what I do, because like, you know, I've thought very long and hard about this. I'm like, maybe what if I'm the problem? Let me analyze this. You know, I had a dream, like Martin Luther King, that I wanted to be a doctor. And then, you know, like, what if my skill set is better geared towards something else? A lot of people tell me, oh, what if are you gonna be a lawyer? You're so good at arguing cases or whatever. And I was like, no, I want to be a doctor. But law school is arguably shorter than med school. But apparently there's not enough jobs for lawyers or whatever. And also, that's not, like, okay. I mean, I don't want to, I think it's interesting to learn about, case law and like cases that make precedent, like never before seeing cases like, oh, we have no idea what to do with this. This situation has never happened in the eye of the law, and we're thinking really long and hard about the morals and ethics that go into the situation and every like single piece and aspect. I think that's great, but it's also not like, that's more like adjacent to philosophy. And I didn't major in I'm majoring in applied mathematics, since you didn't know. And technically, like, that's like adjacent to philosophy. There's a formal logic to both of those fields, so my skill set can apply. Oh boy. Oh, hold on. Hello again. The wind blew really hard. I was just giving it a second to stop, but basically my skill sets apply, and since people have asked me about it, I whether or not I would go into law. I suppose I have a natural inclination, and to be able to think about difficult topics for a prolonged amount of time while also keeping a level head about it, that's great. But also, it's not the thing that would end up making me happy. So yes, I'm committing myself to literal decades of I've committed to a decade plus 2 years of studying. Well, technically 3, because I did go to preschool, but that doesn't count. You go to learn how to socialize, but and I'm gonna dedicate myself to my higher educational total, 4 years in undergrad, and then maybe 8 to 10 years doing an MD PhD. So it's 12 to 14 years, and then I get to go be a doctor, and then I have 5 years of the it's like your doctor training wheels. I don't have the words for it right now, I forget, but and you don't get paid anything. You get paid jack squat. It's like charity work. And then your 6th year of being a doctor, I can't show you 6 fingers because I'm holding my phone. Your 6th year of being a doctor, that's when you get some money. That's when you get to be in your own OR, I think. Or nope, that's a lie. I just lied. Sorry. Roll it back. I've been watching too much Grey's Anatomy. And I want to do a neuro residency, so that's 7 years on top. So it's, and then I'll be 30, 35 at youngest. I'm 22 right now. Imagine how many years in front of me. So this is basically a video to tell those out there who are I have no idea if I want to go to college or not. Just don't put that decision off till later. Just go find a minimum wage job that you can do while you take your classes at your local community college, and then give yourself 2 years to figure things out. Why should you figure things out when you're 17? You don't know anything. You don't know anything of the world and its ways. It's sometimes very cruel ways. Okay. But also, yes. Oh, sorry, I'm back high. But also, just go figure out who you are. Let's say I was in the position of, I don't know what I want. I would just go to a CC. I'd explore some hobbies. I personally I like to watch a lot of TV. Okay, you'd think it's not a hobby, but it is an exercise in writing. It really is. Especially if you don't just sit in front of the TV blank face, no thoughts, head empty. If you're analyzing a show and thinking about the decisions the writers made, for what reasons, etc., etc. Why'd they choose this scene? Why'd they dress this person up in this brand, these colors? Why'd they do the hairstyle like this? Why are they styling the character this way? What kind of arc are they going for? That That's an exercise in world building and storytelling. That's like really important. That opens you up to like, oh, TV production, writing, a bunch of other stuff. Let's say you're into music. Do the same thing. If you're not listening to music, like, no thoughts head empty, but you're like analyzing, like, oh, the drum beats, or the guitar riffs, or um the something else about it, the vocals, whatever. Maybe you're into singing, maybe you're into drums, maybe you're into piano, maybe you're into like playing guitar, acoustic or electric or whatever, what have you. You could pursue that on the side while you have your job, you know, after you go to trade school or something. It's okay to like have a transitory period in your life. Like, just, you know, like, I'm don't have any clear goals right now, but I'm getting there. And, you know, that's probably really fresh coming from someone who has life goals, but I feel so lost right now because it's like I just have like compounding, you know, personal issues going on because they never stop for some reason. I'm starting to wonder if I like just keep inviting these things in my life. But it says can't zoom in or out in this one. Thank you, camera. An example of myself like trying to make the most of my confusion is I'm starting this channel for real now. Like, I'm in it to win it. I want to post more. It's fun. I kind of like talking to a camera because it won't interrupt my sentences and it doesn't have to ask me what I mean. And if someone wants to ask me what I mean, it's in the YouTube comments below. Please comment below if you like to inquire or something. But yeah, that's basically all I had to say. Oh, wait, no, I have one more. I don't recommend you move out until you until you absolutely totally know how to budget. Like, you know, you can make these ends meet, because you will be making ends meet. Like, you have to make rent, utilities, gas. If your car breaks down, you have to figure that out. They're like, you have to make sure you can pay your Spotify premium. There's like a lot of stuff, you know. I'm just the kind of person, like, if I'm not listening to music, I'll die. Have to make sure I get my music in every day. Because my Spotify Wrapped, I was like top 13% of percentile of people who listen to music. I had like 23,000 plus minutes. It would be more if I listened every time that I studied. Like, it would be crazy. But that's besides the point. You have to like really make sure you can take care of yourself, and if you come into a crisis, that you can rely on yourself to figure that out. Because at the end of the day, no matter how like close you are with your friends, you can only rely on them so much, and you will find shortcomings in your friends, and your friends will find shortcomings in you. It's unfortunate but true, because, you know, you move out the house, you try to do the best you can, and then life hits you hard, and then when life hits you hard, that's when you find out who's really there for you, who's not. So yes, you have to like make sure you can fully, truly, totally rely on yourself. And yeah, that's like all I have to say off the top of my head. If it was useful, if the advice was useful, please do tell me, and I will give you more advice, and I'll just leave it there on the internet for you to have. It's super windy, so I'm gonna go. But good night, internet.